Welcome. My name is Yana the Heretic, and this is my channel, The Unpopular Opinion Becoming Popular. And today we're going to talk about Gate 11 in the I-Ching wheel. And Gate 11 is the gate of ideas and peace, is the theme word. We talked a little about last week. It was a lot of information for sure, but we are filtering this gate. It's an Ajna gate, so the Ajna chakra is our third eye chakra. It is where we collect data, and it is very much what we've collected in our memory, and memory is water. That's why when you charge things up, you usually charge them in water, and that's why water is what they use in baptizing somebody. It is purifying and cleansing, and we've collected so much data in our third eye, in our intuition, in our perception, throughout all of these cycles of the moon that have passed. And that could be to our greatest benefit, but it could also be to our greatest failure, depending on how you choose to move this energy through you. So not all of us have this consistent in our definition. This is just the theme that's going on today, or for the next 6 days. And that depiction is because the I-Ching wheel has 64 gates. So mathematically, we move every six days throughout this wheel. And some of us have this defined, so we have this little tiny gate in our definition in our chart, and it is always consistent. So if that is you, you might find this really relevant to your day-to-day. You might think that this is extremely familiar to you. Gate 11. So it is the last gate of Prometheus. We won't be filtering the archetypal energy of Prometheus for another year, to be exact. And Prometheus, like I had mentioned last week, was the titan of fire. So he brought down fire to the human race, which was civilization, technology, and science. So Gate 11 is very much a teaching gate. It is an educational gate, but through the Ajna, it is also a very fun gate. It's a gate to be played with because it is the archetype of the storyteller. So all that mental stimulation and all of those ideas and just curiosity and bubbles, bubbling over in your head. That is beneficial to inspire others. So most of the time, the realization and the epiphany won't come true for the people that have this defined. So they have to go through this cyclical process where sometimes they'll have a depiction and it can grow, but sticking to it and really obsessing over it is not healthy for Gate 11s. Just because you get to this point where your ideals start to shape kind of a unhealthy ridge, like Gate 11s are really meant to just share the story, share the idea, and move forward. And the people that get super inspired by that, they can then use this as fertile soil to put that in motion. So it is more of a expression for Gate 11s, whereas other people can actually provide action towards those things. And we the people that don't have Gate 11 normally, we just filter this for the 6 days. So you can use this to your benefit, like I had mentioned earlier. So if you wanted to express something, if you had some ideas that were repressed, you might want to have them come out for you. You might have a lot of just mental stimulation about what to do. You know, it's the end of the year. Like, what ideas do I have for next year? And what do I want to teach? Where do I want to go? Um, and Gate 11 is really charismatic, and without the 56, so there's a channel, and we talked about this a little bit last week, where there is a opposite or are harmonic to these gates. So they either kind of neutralize the polarity. And 56 is the gate that provides the right timing for these things to be expressed. So sometimes your stories kind of fall onto deaf ears. So Gate 56 helps you find the right moments that your stories are going to be shared and actually like provide the most beneficial education or healing or whatever it may be that you wish to share and depict. It is abstract, so a lot of the times I have friends that have this gate that, you know, like to talk a lot. So this is considered a mental projector. Projectors are those that are really meant to daydream. They are an energy type, and they tend to have less fuel, but they have a lot of ability to daydream, a lot of ability to research. So they're not going out into the world and necessarily like pushing, you know, their energy onto anything. They tend to want to work less for the same amount of money, if not more. So mental projectors, they don't have necessarily a lower energy that depicts their strategy and authority. So they're not emotional. They don't have like the intuition that guides them. They don't have the sacral grunts that tell them what they should do. They like to talk. They like to talk about the things that are going through their mind. So, and they soundboard off of people that way. So it is actually very beneficial for them to have listeners to talk to, like anyone willing that is there to hear them, and their thoughts just kind of filter through. So I think we all know a person like that in our lives. So it's very beneficial to just get kind of all of that out. And I like to challenge people. I like to challenge people and tell them, you know, yeah, like PTSD and schizophrenia, like it can get trapped in your body just because, you know, there's trauma hidden in your memory. And people that like to stick to their ideals and like to hold on to them very strictly, this tends to happen where they develop an unhealthy pattern if it doesn't get to kind of move and get filtered out. So yeah, I find that we have so much more potential to share if it is the right time and place. So I have a few questions here at the end of this video that I like to talk about. And of course, if you guys have any questions, if something seemed unclear, please let me know. But the questions of the week are: what gifts do you bring to this world that are archetypically Aquarian? Ones that think outside of the box and always keeping the future in mind. And I say Aquarian because that's very much Aquarian, and a lot of people will say that this is the age of Aquarius, and it's all about the future, and we are seeing nationwide shifts occur, and we will continue to see them for the next 2 years. And onward, not just the next 2 years, but onward. We have to like build upon the things that we have destroyed and separated. So if you have any future ideas or investments, like, it's very cool to have ideas about that and to be able to write them down, because we really want to put our money and our energy towards something that will be useful for the future. So just jot down anything and then come back to it. Maybe there will be an epiphany eventually. Next question: who in your life is a great listener? Do you value having them as a soundboard for your ideas? How can you show them your gratitude? So it can be a long journey listening and staying present for some people. So when you finally get that, it's like, oh my God, what a great human being. And I find that we can take that for granted. So definitely praise those people that will listen to you, even if your ideas are crazy, even if you are so out of the box. Like, just definitely take your time to be grateful for them this week. We learned about entrepreneurs last week with Gate 26. What ideas are coming to mind in leadership or business that can be abstractly opened up? Through meditation, swaying to sound healing, a fire ceremony, or dancing, let's praise the historical lineup of godheads that brought us civilization, technology, and science. So since this is a very abstract, it can be very abstract, I would say that it's nice to be able to find your inspiration from the unusual. And I love movement practices, so anything you can do that would provide this flow to occur for you. So all the civilizations out there have very similar and eerie stories that we've gotten, technology from Mexico, the Mayans, aliens, whatever it is that you believe in. They always come in ships, they come from underground, whatever it is. Like, just think about that and honor them, and maybe even create a story around that if you wish. What data has been stored in your ajna that has yet to be nourished open? Perception is allowed to weave its own cocoon and expand what has been walled up. So I've been reading Mark Gaffney's book about Eros, and I read this today actually, and it was really in sync, where at the end of the book he mentions that there was a woman that had a beautiful mansion, and the guests that would stay there, they liked every single room but one. And she was like, okay, well, if you guys don't if you don't like this room, like one individual, then let me just seal it up, and you know, nobody can enter this room anymore. And then more guests would come and they would have an opinion about the other rooms. So um, as time goes by, most of those rooms in this mansion were completely walled up, and um, there was not much to share anymore. So that can very much happen to our psyche, especially in our ajna. Our perception is limited just because somebody had something to say that they didn't like, and we took that onto ourselves as truth. So allow yourself to shake that shit free. Like, just fucking shake it off, you know, like, whatever you can. I'm a great promoter of, like, going out to the woods and screaming or growling or whatever, like, because some of us need this exalted state. I mean, we all need exalted states. That's where true bliss occurs and transformation. Um, and we are in the quarter of transformation. So definitely do what you will and get weird with it. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in 6 days for the Weather Channel.